Hi, Gina with today's thought, and today we're going to be talking about something I'm sure everybody has heard about. It was a real bombshell, a real surprise, whatever, at a press conference, 2 days before you're seeing this, and the day before I'm recording this, but Trump and Netanyahu at a press conference, and Trump just put out this proposal. Well, I think it's more than a proposal. I think he means to do it. Either that or, he uses things for leverage. But for the United States to take over the Gaza Strip and, build decent places to live outside of Gaza and incentivize Gazans to move there. What would the incentives be? Well, just having it, there's no talk of forcing them to leave. It would just be a matter of, you compare Gaza to these places that would be built, and unless you're crazy, you would want to move to the other places. Trump said he would not want to come back. But first, I'll go into more detail on that. But first, why that's a good idea, why it's such a great idea, I think, genius idea. I think I was going to show a video of Trump explaining the reason, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let somebody from Hamas explain it, okay? So here is somebody from Hamas on video telling you why Trump's idea is a really good idea.
إسرائيل دولة لا مقام لها على أرضنا. إحنا الدولة لابد أن نزيلها، لأنه بالفعل هي تعتبر كارثة أمنية وعسكرية وسياسية للأمة العربية والإسلامية، يجب أن تنتهي. لذلك احنا لا نخجل من نقول ذلك بكل قوة، إنه إسرائيل لازم نأدبها، وحنأدبها مرة ثانية وثالثة، ومش هذا حتكون طوفان الأقصى أول مرة، لا، حتكون ثانية وثالثة ورابعة، لأنه احنا لدينا إصرار ولدينا قرار ولدينا إمكانيات أن نقاتل نعم. ونحارب. لكن كما قلت لك بدنا ندفع ثمن. نعم، احنا مستعدين. معلش بدي أقول لك بشكل واضح، احنا اسمنا شعب الشهداء وبنفخر أن نقدم.
What you just heard in that video is what Trump said in that press conference, but you just heard it from Hamas. And that's not the only video. I could show you more of other members of Hamas saying exactly the same thing, that they intend to repeat October 7 again and again and again. If the Israelis just pull out and Gaza is rebuilt, then first of all, we know from past experience that the materials for rebuilding Gaza, that Hamas will appropriate much, if not most, of these materials and use them to build more tunnels, repair the tunnels that Israel destroyed. That's where a lot of the money and the materials will go, and then as soon as they can, they will perpetrate another October 7, or they will try to. And the Israelis, unless they're, if there's another October 7, Israel is going to come in with, gangbusters, but they're not going to. Israel is prepared this time. I don't see any hostages being taken. When there is another October 7, so there will be no leverage on Hamas's side, and Israel will just go in. They'll have a perfectly free hand. And the point is that all the money spent to rebuild Gaza will be wasted, because everything will be destroyed again and again and again and again, because they have said, Hamas has said, that they intend to repeat multiple October 7s, do it again and again, because they're millennialists. I mean, they think in terms of thousands of years, that they think they're going to conquer Israel eventually, and victory. This is what people don't understand, that victory for Hamas is not defeating an enemy like it is for us in the West. It's merely surviving, because it means that they're still there to eventually destroy Israel. So as Trump said, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same result. You're going to have October 7 again and again and again. So you have to, at the very least, you have to get Hamas out of there. But Hamas has wide support from the Gazans. People try to deny it, but the fact is that they do. You're seeing some Gazans now cursing Hamas, but that is not most Gazans. And the point is that you have to clear that whole area. But here's another fact that is not mentioned a lot. It's been in a couple of news reports. One of the demands that Hamas is making or has made is that the people who have been moved, the Gazans who have been moved to the south, to be allowed to go back north. Well, Israel agreed to that demand. The Gazans went back north and turned right around and went back south because there's nothing there. Trump is right that there's nothing there. And Gazans, if you offered them, if you offered every Gazan, it costs a lot, but if you offer, well, I was going to say $50,000, but I'll just say $10,000. If you offered every Gazan in Gaza $10,000 and gave them a place to live, they would all leave. A lot of them want to leave right now, and that's another. Talk about your hypocrisy or irony, because people, the Hamas supporters, the Israel haters, they're saying, well, Gaza is an open-air prison. Well, number one, Gaza has two borders. It has a border with Israel, but it has a border with Egypt, too, and they are Arabs. So if Israel withdraws from Gaza, the first thing I would do, I'd put up a wall. Thousands of Gazans have been allowed to work in Israel, and well, that's going to end, because what did they do? They used these workers. They spied on Israel and provided information on Israel to help, in the kibbutzes and where the people were, to facilitate October 7. So Israel I'm sure, is not going to let them back in again, and I wouldn't either. I would completely close the border and say there's a border with Israel. I mean, it's a border with Egypt. So get your material, your food and stuff, because Gaza is not self-sustaining, and it never will be under Hamas. So very good idea from Donald Trump. And you could think now, if you look at the advantages, now there's been, I've been reading, reports from the Arab press and Europeans and how they're reacting to Trump's idea. And they always do that. And Trump always, I don't know why they keep doing this. They condemn an idea from Trump, and then he turns out to be right. But they're saying, no, two-state solution, to the same old stuff that they always say. Hamas comes in and massacres 1,200 people, takes 251 prisoners. Well, what do we do? Oh, I know. Let's reward them with their own state. Okay, that's their mindset, and they just repeat this mantra, this narrative, this idea of a two-state solution over and over and over again. But now, if you can go. Google up images of the Gaza Strip. The coastline it's beautiful. It's essentially the same as the Israeli coastline, Tel Aviv's coastline on the Mediterranean. You could have beautiful beaches there. You could have hotels, maybe even casinos. You could have, as Trump said, it could be a Riviera on the Riviera is on the Mediterranean. So it'd be another Riviera on the Mediterranean. It would be a Middle Eastern Riviera, and then you could have, as Trump said, everybody could live there, not just Gazans, and Gazans would be able to come back. But what you would have, it would be like Monaco. It would be, which is also on the Riviera. It would be on the Mediterranean. It would be. You would have luxury homes there. So if you can afford, if you're a guy, and there are very wealthy Gazans, such as the members of Hamas, leaders of Hamas, for instance, the ones that are living comfortably in Oman. So you can just. If you have $1 million for a one-bedroom apartment in Gaza, for a one-bedroom apartment in Monaco in the Middle East, well, if you're a guy, you can move back there. You can move there, but that would be much better use. And whatever happens, the most important thing is there would be no more wars between, at least between Hamas. Well, I don't think you're ever going to see one between from Hezbollah anymore. They're completely neutered. But you have because Israel created essentially a buffer zone. They cannot Hezbollah cannot come south of the Litani River. So you would have essentially the same thing. Gaza would be that, because Hamas would no longer control, the United States would control Gaza. So Israel would essentially have the United States on its southern border, and there would be no more wars. It would be peace, and the Gazans, as Trump said, would have a much better life. People don't understand, or they refuse to accept, as I say, well, actually I lost a train of thought before, so now I pick it up again, that these people who hate Israel calling Gaza, an open air prison, as if Israel is keeping the Gazans, forcing them to stay in Gaza. It's just one of these that you see against Jews, but against the Jewish state. All these illogical arguments or condemnations or accusations, and it's obvious that Israel would love nothing more for all the Gazans to leave. So they are not keeping them there. They would love them to leave. So this whole idea of an open-air prison in Gaza, it's just absurd. It's just more absurdity, and that's why it is so wonderful to have a president who thinks out of the box and came up with the first plan that, at least to me, makes perfect sense. And that's my thought for today. Your thoughts are always welcome in the comments section below this video. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. But most of all, come back, see me again. I would love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.